Hello and welcome to Will Watches. This is The Pianist. So I don't know much about this movie. I know Adrian Brody is in it, and I believe he was the youngest person at the time to win the Best Actor Oscar for this role. So I'm expecting good things. I know it's kind of set in World War II, so my intuition going off the title is that it's something to do with the Holocaust. And it's called The Pianist, so I'm imagining maybe he's a very skilled pianist and he uses that skill to get by. Maybe the Nazis recognize his skill and then he uses that for like entertainment for them, if you get what I mean, as a like means of survival. That's just a hunch I'm going off of based on the title. So yeah, before we get into it, be sure to check out the Patreon. Over there you can find 1 week early access, so you can get next week's video right now, and that will be Mean Girls, something a bit more lighthearted. And then you can also find full-length timer-based reactions, so you can just sync up your own footage. I'm using the Netflix version here. And then you can also find polls, so you can vote for what's next. So yeah, let's just jump into the movie. Oh, it won the Palme d'Or. Okay. Setting the scene using old footage. Warsaw, okay. Oh yeah, I recognize this song. I wonder if it is Adrian Brody who's actually playing all of this, or if they get someone else to do the hands for him. Is he actually good at piano or not? He probably did learn some, at least for the role. Oh, so he's like recording at the moment while there's the war going on. Okay. Buildings are literally crumbling around him. They need to get out of there. What are they thinking?
Spielman?
Hello. Spielman.
Good to meet you. I love your playing. I'm your ex-sister.
It's nothing. Come on, Dorota.
They're so nonchalant about it.
I don't know what to take.
Always take too much.
I guess them being nonchalant, it just shows how a part of normal life it was at this point. I guess this is quite far into the war. World War II as well, isn't it? It was 83, it said.
Out of Warsaw.
Out of Warsaw, where?
You haven't heard?
Yeah, because Germany completely takes over Poland, doesn't it?
Able-bodied men must leave the city, go across the river, set up a new line of defense.
Is he going to be forced to go into war?
The BBC in London has declared war on Nazi Germany.
That's wonderful.
Oh, let's see that as like a ray of hope that England's going to come and help.
We'll make a similar declaration. Poland is no longer alone.
Yeah, so that was the start of the war, so I was wrong. It wasn't right in the middle of the war. So the war was only officially declared, but Germany was already invaded Poland for quite a bit. What's this? Tape on the windows?
5,003.
In case they shatter or something?
Is that all?
What we got left?
It's 3,003 zlotys too much.
Will be allowed to keep a maximum of 2,000 zlotys in their home.
Would be stupid enough to deposit money in a German bank.
Yeah, they'd just take it.
We can hide the money under the flower pot.
We made a hole in the table leg and hid the money in there.
And suppose they take the table away. The Germans go into Jewish homes and they just take what they want.
Yeah, all of them. They can't just use the money and buy stuff.
No. Listen, I've been thinking.
Oh, really? That's a change.
We leave the money and the watch on the table. And we cover it like this, in full view.
Yeah, it's hidden in plain sight. Just separate it up, you know? Separate it out, hide it around in different places. So if they take some, at least they still have some left. You know, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Look, the watch we put under the flower pots and the money we stuff in the violin.
Listen, don't be offended, but I didn't call to discuss my future career.
I nagged Jorak for weeks and weeks, and at last he gave in and said,
Oh, okay. Used to meet the girl.
Meeting you like that was absolutely wonderful. Shall we go to the Paradiso? Have a coffee? You know what people are like. They want to be better Nazis than Hitler.
Oh, I'm going in.
It's an official decree. No Jews allowed in the park.
Yeah.
Perhaps I could accompany you. Me on the piano, you on the cello.
Little duet.
Call me Vladek, please.
I hereby order that all Jews in the Warsaw district
Armbands.
when out of doors. The emblem will be worn on the right sleeve. The width of the arms of the star must be 1 centimeter.
I didn't realize there was so many. I thought, so do they have to make their armbands themselves? They were giving them instructions on like how big it has to be point to point and how wide the lines have to be.
I won't wear it. I'm not going to be branded.
Sie! Herkommen. Warum haben Sie sich nicht verbeugt?
Entschuldigen Sie.
Where they're allowed.
There will be created a Jewish district in which all Jews living in Warsaw or moving to Warsaw will have to reside.
It's too small. There's 400,000 of us in.
They're in a nice house as well.
That's all we have left. 20 zlotys.
My advice is to accept. You won't get more from anyone else. What are you going to do when you're hungry? Eat the piano?
Get out! You'd rather give it away. Go on, get out!
Haven't you eaten today? 2,000, and I'm paying for the removal. You haven't eaten today. You're crazy.
All move into their designated zone. He's gonna get beaten for just talking to her, isn't he?
We want to seal this for that.
There's a guard at the back in the background that's looking at them. I can see.
Really? They arrested my cousin. This is disgraceful.
I should know. I'll see you soon.
She'll get reprimanded eventually just for being associated with him, probably.
I thought it would be worse.
So all 6 of them have this little apartment. Is it just one room and a bathroom there?
I sleep in the kitchen with the girls. You, Henrik, and Papa in here.
Building a wall between them, yeah. So the timeline's moving along quite quick in this first segment. There's barbed wire as well. Can they even leave the area now at all? Is there there must be a gate or an entrance? Henrik, was he selling books? They were just trying to get by.
Dostoevsky, the idiot, 3 zloty. They bribe the guards turn a blind eye.
Yeah. You gotta do what you need, don't you? Yeah, he needs to use his musical skills, doesn't he? Yeah, they're just on a power trip, aren't they?
They're bringing Jews in from all over the country. Soon there'll be 500,000 people in the ghetto.
Hmm.
Jewish police.
Oh, more Jewish police.
So they're setting up their own society inside, aren't they?
You're a great pianist, and we've got an excellent police jazz band. They'd welcome you with open
Police
arms.
jazz band. So there's even just a class system already set up inside the walls.
Small ghetto, intellectuals, professional people. You're better off than us.
Oh, because the 2 sides, he's in the smaller side.
I don't want to help. I want to do something.
He doesn't feel like he's doing enough.
You musicians don't make good conspirators. You're too musical.
So this is where he's getting all his books printed.
I know your name. I've never heard you play.
Brilliant man. The only thing I've got against him is he's not a socialist. Nearly curfew.
Yeah, of course they have a curfew.
Print of our newspaper.
Oh, it's a newspaper they've got here.
These will start the uprising.
Yeah, but of course if they get found out, there'll be trouble.
Never use Jewish toilets.
Oh, so distribute the newspaper through the toilets. Oh my god, just dead bodies laying about and starving people sitting in the streets. What are they throwing over? Food, just supplies. Oh, he just snuck in. Snuck out and then snuck in.
Stop it! Stop it! Stand up.
I'm glad this isn't any more gory or violent than it needs to be. I don't know how that kid died. They were just hitting him from the other side of the wall. I don't know. They were stabbing him or something.
With that ridiculous tie, playing the piano for the parasites in the ghetto. Parasites.
But you need to do something to get by, don't you? It's the classic. you can be against the system, but you still have to participate to get by, you know? Who's this then? Just Germans raiding different places. If you have nice things, they'll just come in and take them, you know? Or are they taking people? It's in a wheelchair. Can't do it. Oh, I think, oh my god. He's got nowhere to run anyway. Oh. What's happened? Why is the sister there?
They're hunting people in the streets. They've taken Henrik.
Does it mean they've taken him to a concentration camp, or are they just... It's the same woman again.
Little grey beard.
Okay, so we've seen her twice now. I feel like they're either gonna return, or we'll see them as like, we'll see his body at some point or something, or hopefully there's a glimmer of hope and we see them together at some point.
Henrik's in there.
I haven't seen him.
Can you help?
Oh, now you need me. You should have joined us when you had the chance.
There's just no empathy, is there? Who's this guy? Rubenstein. He's just like entertainment for them. If it keeps him and these kids alive, then so be it. No one cares, you know, because they're hungry themselves. Oh, he helped.
So you go to Itzhak Keller. Did I ask you to talk to him? Did you beg? Did you grovel to that piece of shit?
No, I asked him to help.
Yeah.
They were taking you away.
It's got nothing to do with you. It's me they want.
It's his brother, come on. I feel like Henrik is doing something else on the side that could get him in trouble, you know? He's like planning to not escape, but he's like planning a movement or something.
Hungry.
He looks a lot skinnier than before. That his cheeks were very sunken in there.
So the rumors were true.
I'm going to resettle us.
Settle us somewhere else. Yeah.
In the east.
So you have to have a job, or else they'll send you somewhere else.
I thought you'd be off on tour, playing London, Paris, New York, Chicago.
Yeah, that's what he should do. But he needs to support his family. If he's off and about, he can't send the money back, really, can he?
I'm trying to get the certificate of employment for my father.
Don't insult us. Can you do something for him?
You see, it's the people that keep you going, you know? There is like a bit of a sense of community here.
How's your back?
Better.
Better?
Better no ask.
15th of March. So it's still another 3 years till the war ends.
Wir haben unsere Arbeitserlaubnis.
Yeah, the work permit's not going to mean much. All of the men. All of like the able-bodied men they're taking, it looks like. Oh, and there was a woman as well.
Wohin bringen Sie uns?
Okay, so some of them are staying and they're taking others. Henrik and his sister are staying.
Much better off than in the stinking ghetto.
They're saying they're going to work, but is it labour camps, concentration camps, you know?
There's 500,000 of us here. We could break out of the ghetto. At least we could die honourably, not as a stain on the face of history.
Besides, you need organization, plans, guns.
Yeah, they don't have any weapons.
They're sending us to a labour camp. It's obvious.
Look at that cripple there. Look at the old people, the children. They're going to work.
Yeah, it's Henrik and all of the other people, like they were pointing out before, they're the ones who are actually going to be doing labor for them, probably. Like there's definitely enough people here to like rise up against the people that are here on this specific area they're in, but like in total they couldn't rise up against the whole regime, you know, probably, because none of them have guns or anything. There's Henrik and the sister as well, so they were sent with them anyway. But even it's not even the Nazis that are uprising, it's the Jewish police that are kind of working with the Nazis, isn't it? So it's almost like they'd be attacking their own if they uprise.
Idiot. What's he think he's going to do with the money?
How much for a caramel?
20 zloty.
We got 20 between us.
Tiny little knife. It's just a tiny bit of joy in the darkness, though, isn't it? They didn't need the money anyway. The money's going to be no use to them. Oh, it's... What are they doing? I don't get it. They're separating him.
What do you think you're doing, Spielman? I've saved your life. Now get out. Just go.
They're all being separated.
Go to the melting pot.
So, see, even that was a Jewish police, wasn't it? Even he knows, and he's just joking about it.
What are you doing? She's pregnant.
That was the guy who was talking about uprising earlier, wasn't it? Okay, at least Henrik and the dad are together. And then was that the mum there as well? Oh, wow. What a scene. What's he gonna do now? Because it's basically... he's in an empty town. Yeah. God, the newspaper press guy. And his kids. He must have found out about his operation. The small side of the ghetto is just abandoned. Oh, how did he know it was him? It's a good hiding spot.
Not finished yet. We'll stay here for a couple of days until things die down.
Yeah, so they're still shipping people out. Is he trying to blend in more with less nice clothes? Or is it just that's all the clothes he has at the moment?
Must be 2 years. Don't get overexcited.
Oh, yeah, the contrast. Look at it. They've shot it with all this lovely natural light, all these bright colours. Is he going to see the girl? Oh, and they're taking down the wall. So, that's her, isn't it? Are they using the small ghetto bit? They're giving it back to the others. Don't even bother.
They hang them for helping Jews.
Yeah. It's not worth it. You could take the armband off and try and blend in, but it's hard without the proper clothes, isn't it? You'd probably be singled out just for the way he looks. Who is this guy? You can just tell, look at him, and he just looks evil. Just killing them for no reason, seemingly. Just chuck a brick off of one of their heads, you know? They've given them all tools and things. He was the guy who helped out before.
We're going to start the final resettlement now.
The final resettlement.
A local railwayman told him that the track's divided. Every day, freight trains carrying people from Warsaw are returned empty. Transports of food are ever seen on that line.
Yeah.
They're exterminating us. We're 60,000 left, out of 500,000.
Wow. Yeah, keep the young people around that can work.
We're going to fight.
Just try and start an uprising.
Come here.
Oh, they probably see him as too weak. He's quite frail, isn't he? Skinny.
Sorry.
You're no better than you carry bricks. I'll see if I can get him something better.
Yeah, that's a much better job for him than physical labour or like lifting and carrying heavy things, you know. And he can write and things, so that's good for him.
I have good news for you. To be allowed it to go in town daily, 3 kilos Kartoffel, potato, yeah? Why should we do something else like this if we would resettle you?
Yeah, so they're doing this. It's just like giving them a little bit of hope so they think they're not going to be resettled, you know? Oh, so it's a loaf of bread each and 3 kilos of potatoes each. It's not just that spread out between them.
That one with the string. The others tied by wire.
Oh, okay. So there's something in them. There's something special about the string one. A gun. Does he have ammo as well? How often are they allowed to go into the town? Was it once a week, he said? Or was it once a day? If it's once a week, if you're doing 2 guns a week.
I have a favor to ask. I want to get out of here.
It's easy to get out. It's how you survive on the other side that's hard.
Yeah.
They're good people. Want to try and make contact?
Okay, he's the one who's going out into town, isn't he? Yeah. Okay, so it's every day they go. But what's he allowed to do once he is actually in the town? Is he monitored the whole time he's there?
3 Kilo Kartoffeln und Brot. Kartoffeln und Brot. Das ist richtig doch.
It's a string one, not a wire one, so that's the one with the gun in it, isn't it? Does he still have a gun in his pocket? Can he fight back against this guy?
Kartoffeln.
Or is it just beans or something?
Belügst du mich nochmal, erschieß ich dich.
Is it, you know, it was only like grains and beans, wasn't it? I don't see how they care that much if it's not only potatoes, but he didn't get all of the things that they really wanted, the guns or ammo, you know.
Weißt du, warum wir euch verprügeln? Silvester zu feiern.
Oh my god. They're just drunk and they just see it as fun, you know.
Stand up and fight our mortal enemies.
The song they're singing is almost like a song of defiance. It's today the day he's escaping. So it was that easy to just walk out? He needs to find them. That looked like it could have been her. Is she just like nonchalantly leading the way? So if anyone was watching on, he thinks they didn't know that we were together.
I'm dirty, I'm so filthy.
They need to freshen him up and just make him look less conspicuous.
They have to keep moving. The Germans are hunting down indiscriminately now. Jews, non-Jews, anybody.
Yeah, get clean shaven, just blend in as much as you can. Oh, burning all his clothes. Okay, that's good.
You'll be looked after by Marek Gęczynski.
Yeah, they were saying they were just being indiscriminate at this point, you know. There's probably anyone who they even suspect of being Jewish, they'd just kill for, you know, just for the heck of it.
You have to stay here until tomorrow afternoon.
Just try not to blow yourself up in your sleep.
It's not going to be very comfortable.
Yeah, you can't even lay down in there, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
You leave them open during the daytime. Don't forget.
Yeah, because that looks suspicious.
Sometimes I'm still not sure which side of the wall I'm on.
In case of emergency, go to this address.
Emergency address, okay. Like a safe house that they've got. Oh, finally get to sit on a sofa. That must feel great. Oh, but they have a piano. That was a big bomb going off. What's going on? That was inside the walls. Oh, they're starting an uprising to try and escape. All of it's paying off, all of the guns. What caused that giant explosion? Did the Jews inside make a bomb? That was a big explosion. Now we're just gonna be here seeing all of this happening to his fellow people, but he's on the outside. There must be some guilt there, you know. That blew down the wall, so now there's a way that they can escape, I guess. No, it's just completely destroyed. I wonder if that's the end for the guy that helped him escape.
I should have come out. I should have stayed there and fought with them.
Vorek, stop that.
You would have died.
They're in shock. They didn't expect it. Nobody expected it.
Yeah.
What good did it do?
There's not much you can do. You know, they purposely leave them hungry and frail, so it's even harder for them to fight back.
Now the Poles will rise. We're ready.
I like how this is taking place over a long time scale. We're seeing quite a few winters at this point.
The Gestapo found our weapons.
Oh, okay.
They've arrested Janina and Andre. But when they storm the flat, throw yourself out the window. Don't let them get you alive.
Yeah, it's always worse fate to be caught alive than it is to die sometimes. There's some doves flying past there. Usually doves symbolize hope, don't they? I feel like he'll be okay here. They're taking other people, not him. He's just stayed in the flat the whole time, hasn't he? He can't really go anywhere. You just go next door and play piano with them, you know? Not any food is there. Yeah, he's run out of supplies. It's too dangerous for her to bring him any more food. Or don't break anything. Do the neighbours know he's there, or do they think it's just an empty apartment?
I want to see your identity card! What's happening? He's a Jew! Don't let him out!
I thought he could have befriended her at one point, you know. Played the piano. You know, that's a good story element there. They're both piano players. They had something in common. They could have been friends, but her beliefs just got in the way of that. He can't go there anymore though, because they were caught, weren't they? Will going there in an emergency actually help?
Mr. Gubczynski sent me.
Come in.
Oh, she's pregnant.
How's Jurek?
Dead.
I'm sorry, could I have a piece of bread?
Please sit.
He's gone hungry, you know. Oh, yeah. This was the song that played right at the start of the movie, isn't it?
You're in a very German area. Building opposite is a hospital taking in wounded from the Russian front. Safest place to be. Right at the heart of the Lion's Den.
Yeah, they don't expect there to be Jewish people here because it's...
Keep as quiet as possible.
Didn't break any plates this time. There's a piano, but he can't play it. First time he's played the piano in years, probably. Is he actually playing it, or is he just like lightly tapping the keys so it doesn't actually play? Yeah.
He'll bring you food, see that you're all right. He's with the underground. He's a good man.
Also radio. I was a technician.
Was that right at the start?
And the Russians are really giving them hell. It's the beginning of the end.
Oh, let's hope so.
They're bringing him food, but it's still not a lot.
Been over 2 weeks.
Problems. I've got to raise money to buy the food. The Allies have landed in France. The Russians will be here soon. They'll beat the shit out the Germans.
Yeah, it's kind of coming from both sides, isn't it? I want to know when he's saying this, he's saying any day now that war ends, end of 45. Last time there was like a timestamp on screen, it was 43, so it could be another year.
We came to say goodbye.
Say goodbye? Are they off somewhere?
With my mother in Okhotsk. The baby's already there. It's safer.
Oh yeah, the baby. Okay, so still a year to the end of the war. Year and a month-ish. Oh, uprising. Starting. They're right next to the hospital. I would say they should have attacked the hospital as well, but attacking the innocent nurses is a bit... The nurse was hit there anyway. There's patients and stuff in the hospital, you know. Like, as in, attack the hospital so then they can't use the hospital for all of the injured who just got hit. No, the whole place is on fire. And he's just staying right there. He's gonna stand right out, full grown beard, just raggedy, skinny. The door's locked, he can't even get out. Too high up to jump as well, isn't he? Get away from the window. Because they were attacking from one of the balconies on this building. Don't go up. Why would you go up? If the building's potentially collapsing and you need to get out, I don't know where you'd go. Is there a way he can climb down? You see his hands in the window. Just get on the floor, yeah. But are they coming to check the bodies? Can he get a gun off of any of these bodies? This was the woman that we saw shot earlier, yeah. Oh, that looks disgusting. Is there any way he can cook anything here? Okay, yeah, just start your own fire. Yeah, now they're checking all the bodies. So you can't just play dead forever, you know. Look at it. It's great. It just gives you a moment to just take all of this in. Hopefully it's pickled so it's last. Oh, don't tell me. Just when he finds food, he has to leave. He can't be as quiet as he was before because of his limp. Oh, that's good. Yeah, take the ladder up with him. Is someone playing it, or is it? It's hard to tell sometimes if the music is diegetic or not. They've found a piano and the Germans are playing it. It's crazy how quickly everything devolved. He's in a relatively nice apartment, even if he was going hungry. Now he's just doing anything he can. I hope this is worth it. He gets it open. It's spilled, but it's only the water from it, I guess.
Wer sind Sie?
He doesn't even have any documentation or anything.
Was machen Sie da?
Just trying to survive.
Ich war Pianist.
He hasn't shot him right away. I can't tell if this guy has like a bit of niceness to him, you know? Is he gonna get him a job as a pianist?
Spielen Sie mal.
See how good he actually is. This is the first opportunity he's got to play. Oh, look how frail he is. He can barely open it. Is he gonna have the dexterity to be able to play properly? Long reaction shot on him here. It's hard to know what he's thinking. I think maybe he can see potential. Oh, that's great with the ray of light. Can't tell. It looks like there's almost a tear in his eye. But I'm not exactly sure. See how cold it is with his breath as he exhales there. Okay, he's still got it. You know, he needed to warm up a bit. But he's still got the dexterity in his hands. Maybe he's sad seeing what's happened to such great talent. His fingers even look skinnier than they were at the start of the movie. Maybe, I don't know. The beard makes... You can use the beard to kind of shape the way people's face looks. It makes it look like his cheeks are sunken in even more than they are.
Haben Sie was zu essen?
You're just gonna leave him. No one else hear the piano? Oh, they're all moving into... They're using this house as a base of command. If he's still in the attic, this is gonna be tough. Oh, he's quite high up, this guy. So you gotta go up to the attic to help. I suppose none of the other soldiers have come up here at any point.
Die Russen auf der anderen Flussseite. Wochen werden sie wohl noch aushalten müssen. Mehr nicht.
He kind of knows that it's the end. What was that looking at the... Because it wasn't a knife? I'm a bit confused at that.
Sind die Russen da?
Noch nicht. Ich weiß nicht, wie ich Ihnen danken soll.
Giving him his coat, yeah.
Und Sie?
Ich habe noch einen. Einen wärmeren. Ich werde die Ohren offen halten.
Spiel mal.
Der Name für einen Pianisten.
I thought perhaps maybe he already knew who he was kind of before the war. Polish national anthem's playing. Is this signifying the end of the war? Hopefully they don't see his coat and think that he's German.
German! German!
Oh no. Killed by his own people, maybe.
I'm Polish! Come out with your hands Listen,
He's Polish. Why the fucking coat?
I'm cold.
Survivors of a concentration camp.
Look at you now. You took everything I had. Me, a musician.
Oh, it's the guy from before.
Will ich einen Kollegen einen. Ich habe einem Spielmann geholfen, während er sich versteckte.
Tja, wo ist denn falsch?
Is that guy gonna be helped or not? And he's back performing for the radio, back to his old self. I wonder if I find out what happened to any of the other family. Did it? I'm guessing none of them survived. Did Dorota survive with her baby? Oh, this is where they were.
I shouted abuse at them. I'm not proud of it, but that's what I did.
They were probably all just killed, weren't they? I love this, how colourful and how rich all of the colours are now in contrast. All of the light is really warm on his face. Oh, is he performing somewhere big now? With an orchestra? "88 years old. Wilma Holstenfield." Okay, in 52, so he survived for another 7 years after the war. And it ends with a round of applause and a standing ovation, yeah. Okay, so that was The Pianist. This definitely feels like one of those movies that you watch and then you just don't watch for a very long time because you just like, you feel like you don't need to, you know? It's like you don't want to go through that all again. I'm really glad that the movie didn't rely a lot on gore. Like most of the time, we never see any like really gruesome guts and things like that. It was only just like a bullet to the head and it just shows the hole and shows some blood bleeding. There was never anything like really, really gruesome because I think the movie doesn't really need it. It doesn't need that shock factor. It's already horrifying as is. And because it doesn't use that, it can get a lower age rating and hit a broader audience. You know, in the UK here, it's rated 15. I don't know how it works in America. I know R-rated, but I think R-rated is the equivalent of rated 18 here in the UK. I think personally, I prefer movies that deal with war that are a bit more like this, where they deal with civilians rather than dealing with soldiers, because I think a lot of the time when they deal with soldiers, it can feel a lot like propaganda and it's pandering and it's trying to convince you that, you know, war is good. Even when it's about kind of the horrors of war, it still shows camaraderie and things that, you know, they're good things, but it still kind of shows your side as being the good side, if you get what I mean. Whereas this is purely from a civilian perspective and all of the conflict is shown as negative, you know? So this was a true story based off of Spielman's memoirs. And I do think in certain ways doing a true story can be really good and effective. And then in other ways, it can also hold you back. You know, obviously making a story that follows all of these true events just adds a bit to the horror of it all. But then there's certain things, like at the start I thought he'd be using his piano skills as kind of a way to get by, but that never really came into play much. You know, it was only there was that one pivotal point where he knew how to play piano for the German soldier, and that's what kept him alive. But I thought it would come into play kind of even more than that. But, you know, that's kind of, you have to have a balance with making a movie on a true story. You can't bend the truth too much. And that, you know, what I thought would happen, it would be a completely different plot point and completely different movie, really. And then, of course, this is directed by Roman Polanski. I'm not sure if I have seen many of his other films, but he is Polish, and this has a very deep connection for him because he grew up in a Krakow ghetto, similar to what we see portrayed here in this Warsaw ghetto. So he kind of lived through all of this up until the age of 12, I think. Then, of course, on top of this, we also have to acknowledge that he himself is not a great person. He has multiple allegations of sexual assault against him. So I won't get too into that, but yeah, it's something to acknowledge as well. As great of a filmmaker as he is, and how great of a film this is, that doesn't forgive everything else that he has done. And I think this film, you know, even though it portrays all of these tragic events, and we see how Spielman kind of tumbles out of control and he's all frail by the end, and then of course he has his kind of regeneration and reintegration back into society. We see at the end he's performing for an orchestra and he has that standing ovation. I think, you know, one of the big themes here is about hope and about kind of the human spirit and about friendship. How, you know, there's a lot of bad people in this film, but there's a lot of good people as well. He only made it to where he did because of the help from others and because other people were kind and nurturing towards him, you know? Yeah, I much prefer it when it's more based on civilians because it shows the impact on the everyday person, not on people who are out fighting. How it would probably affect you the most. It's more relatable to an audience that way. I really liked how time progressed. I really love when films, they have like this sense of time progression. This takes place over many years and it does feel like that. You know, we see many winters and you kind of can see the cycle through the seasons throughout the movie. And it just adds this kind of sense of scale for the movie and of the timeline, you know? And of course, there's so much evil that happens in this film, but that's kind of, you need that to be able to contrast that with all of the good as well. So we see just how awful all of these Nazis are, of course. You know, they're just killing them in the street for whatever reason they see fit, really. And then we also see there's people who are Jewish who are working for them, and they're like outing their own people in exchange for some comfort and for some safety. And I don't know, you know, are the people who were part of the Jewish police in the ghetto, did they make it out all right, or were they eventually just killed as well? You know, did that actually help them in any way? I don't know. But then we also see, even with the Nazi Germans, there are still some good people there. Willem Hausenfeld, who was the guy who helped him when he was up in the attic. You know, even though he was German, he could see the humanity in Spielman and still helped him out, you know, because a lot of Germans, even if they were working for the Nazis, they could have been good people who only working for them, because if they didn't, they would have been killed, or they would have had consequences thrown upon them if they didn't join as well, you know? So, you know, there's a lot of blurred lines on who's good and who's bad. It all comes down to your individual nature at the end of the day, not what side you were on. And I really liked how Spielman, he wasn't portrayed as like a hero here. He was just doing what he needed to survive. And, you know, he wasn't the one who started any of the uprisings. He never like stood up for himself and tried to fight back, and that ended up having consequences. He was just trying to survive, and I think that's a bit more relatable for the everyday person, just doing what you can to stay alive. And I like how he almost feels like an outside observer onto the war. It's like all of these events are happening, like the ghetto uprising and things like that, but he is never a part of them. He sees them happen. And I quite like that because, again, it kind of relates back to the audience member, but then he is still a part of, he has his own story, you know. It's just his story isn't really about all of the different battles and things. It's just about his survival. I did like Adrian Brody's performance. I'm not sure if it's like phenomenal best actor worthy, but then that might just be because there's no like standout huge moments here for his character. He just feels very real throughout the whole thing. So I guess the performance is more in the believability of his character, is not in the big moments. It's a bit more subtle, you know? So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed my reaction. If you did, consider leaving a like or a comment. And if you really loved it, make sure to subscribe. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.